10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
Slada.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Dark Seer.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Disruptor.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Juggernaut.
Dire team ban.
That is because the Super Bowl refused to work, so I do suggest that you go and try to watch it from the ticket instead. Obviously, this is a cry to deaf ears, but, can't really do much about it when you have to download old software to run a program that won't even run.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, anyway, so the stream is being sent currently
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
Let's see if Azubu does actually manage to respond. It's been already 10 minutes. Away! Cool! Let's get now into the game of today. Elements Pro. My name is DSwordFish, by the way. I'll be your cast support today. Let's get into Elements Pro Gaming versus Team Hala Ares.
Dire team ban.
People know Elements Pro Gaming from their previous runs in multiple tournaments due to their luck, honestly, in the fact that they've been granted a lot of positions in higher level tournaments just because of the fact that they were the ones that some team left and they decided to join it, whatever.
Remaining.
Regardless, they've proven that they're not actually a bad team, and many people really took them for granted as one of those tier 3, tier 4 teams even that were really weak. But honestly, I'm quite pleasantly surprised with this team, especially LeBron Dota, one of the better captains I've seen in the tier 2 scene. And in general, a lot of upcoming players, which I think could be major integrants of other bigger teams. On the other hand, Team Hala Ares, a newer one of those teams, which you think is Greek, but it's not. Includes the likes of Betboom, a guy who used to play on Rebels and who was an exclusive Enchantress player, and it's not a bad player at all. But of course, Team Hala Aries and both Helmut Pro Gaming have not done too well in the ProDotA tournament, otherwise they would not. Let's see what happens now in the draft for now. So Helmut Pro Gaming banned the Lone Druid, the Lycan is... the Lexus in the Shadow Fiend, while Team Hala Aries bans out the Underlord, the Ogre Magi, the Weaver, and the OD. It's interesting how the meta here in the Tier 2 scene is so much older, I guess, than the meta you would watch in Tier 1 teams. We can see Helmut Pro Gaming going for interesting cards here. Disruptor, not a bad idea. Honestly, Static Storm plus a Vacuum. Cast point, which is almost 0.01, meaning that you can use it almost exclusively on Juggernaut and destroy him easily as long as you get the Vacuum off. You might even be able to use it while the Vacuum is attacking him, so he gets an extra stun on top of the Static Storm, and you can set up the Kinetic Field much easier. And we'll see if that is the case this game. Sven, on the other hand, not the most common pick nowadays, but still could be powerful. We've seen the Sven support run by American teams. Could mostly will be a Sven carry, considering it's actually quite a strong carry against Juggernaut. We'll see if then wins him. So Team Hala now goes for the Witch Doctor. Slaughter could
team pick
in situation position 4, though we've seen a lot of position 3.
Slug.
Radiant team pick.
We're live, it seems. Right, so Helmut Pro Gaming do go for the Slug, so we are going to see the American Sven support that we have seen Banana Slam Jammer use, and I actually prefer this. Again, the Sven is not a bad hero against the Juggernaut. It's quite a powerful hero due to his burst damage and the lack of armor that Juggernaut has for an agility carry. He has a decent agility and strength game, but actually not as much as carries like Luna or Clinks. So Sven can really easily blow him up. However, Sven with an Ags can help the Slark really easily, considering Slark does not really have damage due to his poor stat gain and item build, which is, mainly stats and going for semi-tanky, right? If you go for items that give you 10 each stat, you'll get 10 attack per item, which is not that much if you consider it. So Sven actually helps a lot if he gets Aghanim's and God's Strength, or he's completely the enemy team, and the Slurk obviously still hits fast because that's what he's built anyway. The attack speed and obviously his agility stacks also help a lot in that attack speed guard. And ensures the Slark has much more of a bursting power, which I love. In addition to that, Sven obviously offers a lot of armor, which is wonderful against any sort of slaughter strategy. Which team?
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, we're online.
Reserve time.
Let's begin with the 5th ban here. With a ban against Team Hala. If you consider what Team Hala's composition is, we have quite a greedy 2 cores. Juggernaut, who can create space a bit in the early game with the combination of the Witch Doctor, perhaps with a starter in the position 4. But then obviously you need a team that kind of builds around the Alchemist, because of how the Alchemist is naturally played. And despite the Alchemist having the Acid Spray and the natural armor reduction, still not effective enough to kill off a Slark, for example, or Sven, both of whom are heroes that are either really tanky in the Sven's case, or hard to kill in Slark's case. You would like something like an off-lane with a bit of a bite. Starter is alright, but you really would like to have an Axe, for example. A Tusk would have actually been alright.
Radiant team
other heroes. We could have a position 4 Undying, perhaps. Also a possibility. Anything of that case that can give you big early snowball potential so the Alchemist can really get enough items to destroy the Slark later on in the game. Let's remember that Alchemist is similar to Slark in the stat game department, but he depends on items, whereas Slark just depends on staying in the fight for a long time, and obviously having a good initiation and whatnot. On top of that, you have Helmut Pro Gaming having better initiation already with its Darkseer, so getting something to counter that would be wonderful. The ban of the Timbersaw, I like one a lot. The Timbersaw in the mid lane could be very powerful against an Alchemist. A lot of Team Hala picks up for their 5th pick. And again, an Axe comes to mind because the Axe is quite powerful against the Slark due to Slark's higher attack speed. The spins can easily destroy them, in addition to the Cooling Blade, which can finish off a Whimpering Slark. But you could go for something more creative, honestly, in the offlane. There's always the possibility of going for a Magnus, perhaps. If you want to go for a strong position 4, I still suggest the Undying, the Spirit Breaker as well. In the pool, it really depends on how they want to angle this. And they could, I didn't actually consider this, but Doom I do love. Put in position 3 Slaughter or even position 3 Doom doesn't really matter. You mix up the lanes a bit. That's actually quite. On top of that, you get that Doom, which destroys the Slark and even forces him to get Lincolns. Or on the other hand, if the Sven doesn't go there, you do something weird like Slark mid, you already have a counter to the PKB usage by just dooming him. Ellis Pro Gaming now with a mid play, a mid
5 seconds
someone in the mid lane. See what they're going to pick up against the Alchemist. Someone can dominate lane, for example, will be quite powerful. Someone that can get pickoffs. So you can either go for the Queen of Pain, say Storm route, which don't do too badly against the Alchemist, and Queen of Pain dominates the lane. The Storm is not so much, but you look at that early burst damage, you're looking more in that good team fight. They didn't go for the Invoker, for example, as you can stop a lot of the initiations from the Doom and the Slardar. But again, the Doom might just doom you and you're useless, so you don't really want to risk as much into an Invoker. The Queen of Pain at least has, the auto attack damage and whatnot. The Doom really counter that poor, actually the poor Storm as well. So another option would be going for the pure right click mid, something along the sides of a Viper or Razor. Both dominate the mid lane against an Alchemist easily, prevent them from getting farm, and on top of that, are not too weak against the Doom. But no. Okay, that Tinker is an interesting pickup. Tinker is not bad against what Team Hala present because of the blind being so powerful against an Alchemist who usually does not want to go BKB until he gets space form, right? So once he gets Octarine Core, Manta Style, Radiance, and whatnot, the Alchemist hits quite hard, right? Tinker blinds you and you're completely useless. The Tinker that Slark is very hard to kill due to his insane movement speed, his escape skills, and whatnot. Makes the Alchemist have a real tough time to really kill. Only issue with the Tinker, that Doom is going to be a pain in your ass the whole game. So you're going to have to use very clever positioning in the trees. Blink Dagger is necessary for this Tinker in the early game, meaning you can't go for any super snowball or a very aggressive builds. And in the early game, Ellen's Pro game, really looking to play a bit more passively, trying to get some farm on the Tinker and the Slark. To see as well, actually, would be a Lincoln on this thing. Or even a Lotus Orb. Actually, Lotus Orb I don't like as much. I like the Lincolns quite a lot. Due to him being able to, refresh it once he uses at the active. So you can't, obviously the Lincolns, you can't, you can use the active and refresh it, you can't use the active on 2 people, but you can have the power to really stop 1 or 2 Doom, which is obviously pretty useful. In which would be quite nice to stop this Doom from destroying the Tinker and the Slark. Only good thing that EPG has, though, which I do like, is the fact that they have a very diverse Doom lineup, essentially. In the sense that you don't really want to Doom the Tinker, because then the Slark is still pretty powerful. If you Doom either the Tinker or the Slark, then the Disruptor is still actually quite a strong pickup, or the Darkseer, and especially in the early game. So you have a nice transition where the single target power of Doom is kind of countered by your amazing lineup of useful heroes. EPG does not rely as much on synergy or on a wombo combo. You're not really looking to destroy everyone with one of your powerful integrants. Like, say they have a wombo combo with a Void and a Scarith Mage, or even a small wombo combo, or a wombo combo like Void, Elder Titan. The only combo they really have is Disruptor and Darkseer, both which are heroes that can well, regardless of having their ally in the team. So if you do Doom the most important counterpart of this combo, in this case, say the Darkseer, and you lose the Vacuum, you still have a powerful Static Storm, you still have a powerful Glimpse, you don't care. If you lose the Disruptor, you're still a powerful Vacuum plus Wall Replica, and the Iron Shells from the Surges to help him out. You don't really care. And if you obviously Doom one of your 2 main carries, then, well, it's not really that big a deal until he gets Ags, and Slark can't really use Shadow, or can't heal off from Shadow Dance once he goes away from the Doom's power. Which is quite easy, considering Doom has a huge cast time. You usually want to initiate a team fight with Doom, rather than do it in the middle of a team fight, because the likelihood of that, the Slark having killed half your team by then, it's quite high. Anyway, before we go on into more analysis, my name is DSwordFish, I'll be your caster for today, and let's look up at the teams and see what they have to offer for us. We have, on the Hala Ares side, it's Slander, on the Slardar in the support position. I do believe the Chosen One will play Doom in the off-mid position. Hilarious playing the Alchemist here in the mid position. Witch Doctor playing in position number 4 by Metpoom, and finally, by Metpoom, and finally Satan himself is playing here for Hala Ares, mixing up your Greek and Christian mythologies here, but whatever. He's gonna be the Juggernaut in the carry position. As for Elements Pro Gaming EPG, the known team out of the 2, gonna have GOG1 playing the Disruptor. On the Slark is gonna be Swift ending in the carry position. Our mid lane are gonna be playing the Tinker. In the off lane, playing the Darkseer, it's gonna be Mitch. And finally, on the Sven, LeBron Dota, the captain of this team, in the support position for Sven. And position 4 Sven I actually do love, which is offering. Purely because LeBron Dota, I just really like this creative kind of draft. We've seen it a couple times, but I feel like it has a lot of potential. I want to see more strength supports like Slard, or position 4 strength supports like Slardar, like Kunkka, like Ben, like Chaos Knight, and kind of deviate away from those strong intelligence cores like Ogre Magi and Witch Doctor. Because that gives you much more versatility in your draft, which is... The more Dota evolves in terms of drafting, the happier I am, as I can kind of make up for my shitty skills with better drafts. That said, I would also like to see... I don't know if you've ever seen the Chinese scene, especially the Juggernaut position before, but that was always really creative. And this Sven kind of works well. I've seen it work with the Axe before, but in general, he kind of goes for more of a utility aura guy, because the Axe is really not that useful until you get into really late game, and even so, it's powerful. But who knows? With the Slug, the combination is actually quite lethal. And you also have the Disruptor, which has quite a high attack range. It benefits well from the Sven. And a Darkseer, who, with the 120 damage talent, might actually want to go for a bit of a right-clicking instead of the 14 health region. No, it's always a possibility. Maybe a bit of attack speed in the Darkseer. Getting an Assault Cuirass, for example, is not bad for your team regardless. So, if you don't want that on the Sven, get that on the Darkseer. And you get a lot of armor early on, a lot of attack speed for your team, and you might even benefit a bit from that. Or even if one of your teammates gets a Cuirass, not a big deal. It helps you regardless. Interesting to see. Very crafted. Right, let's go to the lanes a bit for now. Let's see, in the mid lane, the good thing about the Tinker is that he usually can prevent a bit of the Alchemist farm, especially in the early game, with that power of the laser. Nope. Oh, we see Slander here fighting off the Sven. There's no hammer to be seen and no mango to be used. GOG1 also doesn't have that glimpse. Seems like Slander will be quite alright there. They weren't able to restart him again. The lack of mango on Sven, I don't know if... No, I mean, he went for boots very early to go for a more effective roaming support. A bit of mana, though, I still think is very powerful on Sven. Last iteration of Sven we saw in the competitive scene carried a mango around, and I really like that. On the other hand, this Darkseer has a mango, which I really don't understand. There's never a case where you have to do a clutch surge or a clutch iron. Like, if you don't have mana for these abilities, it's because something's wrong. So it's better if you go for clarities, which give you much more value for your punch nowadays, as they don't get dispelled by creeps and whatnot. Okay, LeBron Dota now. Quick stun onto Doom. A little bit of harassment. Never mind, the glimpse plus the pounce. Gets the chosen one in a difficult position. Uses a great stun, but it's not enough to save his life. And it takes down the offlaner for the Hala Ares team. Starting out quite well for APG. And let's not forget, guys, whoever loses this game is out of, as it's the lower brackets. Right. It's not only because best of ones determines who's out of the tournament, it's just that lower brackets. We're still Soren coming out a decent time on the Darkseer. Better than your stupid mangoes. Let's look at the last. It's a bit... You'll see that the Juggernaut has 20 last as opposed to the Slark's 13. Clearly, Slark is doing much worse than this Juggernaut, but obviously he's fighting against a dual offlane, whereas the Juggernaut's only fighting against a single Darkseer. And Juggernaut doesn't particularly too bothered by the Darkseer because he can really spin and just destroy the creeps easily, so doesn't really care much about the Iron Shell. At most, he'll push the lane a bit. The big lane that you really want to care about today will be the Tinker against Alchemist lane. Usually, Alchemist with a Soul Ring build can actually, or should be able to, as long as the Tinker aggressively kind of zone a Tinker out of lane with smart acid sprays and the help of 1 or 2 supports. But due to the fact that all the supports are either in the top lane or in the bottom lane for Hala Ares, because they want to create a lot of pressures on these side lanes, this makes it so that, oh, Mage, careful, first stun. Or the second stun, he doesn't want to use Surge yet. Palsy Cast comes right in time, but it's only one hit. He has Salve, so he can still heal up in these trees and use the Iron Shell to actually deal a bit of damage to the enemy team. He's waiting for that Surge. 2 seconds, 1 second, there it is. He uses the Iron Shell to deal a bit of damage, and he knows he can be quite cocky. Slander's coming behind him. There's the help of his support. He stuns 2! That's not what LeBron wanted to do. The Storm Hammer, and they want to turn this around. Going on to Slander. LeBron Dota gets the Iron Shell, starts dealing quite a lot of damage, but Satan deals even more with that crit. Is just nothing. Face. And both Mitch and LeBron Dota will have to back off. Great rotation. And really taking advantage of the tankiness of both their offlaner and their support. But obviously not good enough to get the kill. And mainly because you're fighting Them being a Slardar, the other one being a Witch Doctor. Like, you're actually fighting against two guys who have pretty insane bodies. I don't mean in the sense of, ooh, they're so sexy. I mean in the sense of, Witch Doctor has a really high base attack damage, one of the highest in the game, in ports, obviously. And 58? Pretty certain, 58, 57. And the Slardar himself also with a high base attack damage, high armor, and high HP. Difficult to kill both of these heroes. The Juggernaut is also not particularly weak when he spins, has the healing ward to help him out. So getting a kill on this Trilon is almost impossible. The only thing they benefit from is that the Tinker has gone a lot of farm due to these supports caring about the silence so much. And now it's the first gank that Slander is actually going to lane. Why, you may ask? Why haven't they ganked before? Mainly because they actually don't know. EPG was really taking advantage of this, so kind of enjoy it. Meanwhile, on the top lane, though, they do gank GOG1. This is a kill, at least. And they will kill off the Disruptor. That's quite important. Kinetic Field comes a bit too late. Wants to close them in, but there's no TP to help them out. So, no follow-up after that. Yeah, I really wanted to put the Tinker against the Alchemist solo, especially when the Alchemist is going jungle, because 37 last hits is nothing to be mocked at, and 25 denies. Mr. Cole knows how to play this Tinker to perfection, apparently. He is not leading in net worth because of the Alchemist still, but he is quite second in net worth. They're going to get a very respectable timing for those Boots of Travel, minute 8, unless they manage to gank him now. And the plan for Hala is clearly to get a bit of farm, a bit more levels on the Slardar, so he can gank a bit more efficiently. Due to the lasers, it's kind of hard to gank a Tinker with a Slardar or an Ogre Magi. Most you can really just harass him a bit. But the ganks that he's tried to do have not been the best. And so now if he goes in, he's going to meet with Tinker, possibly a TP, and definitely behind ProDotA. Not the best idea to go on Hilarious, though, once to a monster. And in fact, it might be the Sven who dies off first. And the Slardar's still waiting patiently up in the high ground. Seems like for now, nobody's gonna die. But Cole is really, really under the guys of this tower, because the second they see him, the second they know he's in a bad position, they're gonna go on him immediately. And they're just lucky enough that they haven't been found out yet. ProDotA will finally find Slander. There's next to a shrine, not a place you want to fight at. The rotation's coming in from the Disruptor, farming some creeps. And Cole will just go to heal, make sure he's okay in case they try to gank him again. All will be good for the EPG team for now. Hilarious, on the other hand, I think their strategy is kind of pending on the minute 10 or so. That's when they really become powerful. That's what they're looking for. Those high ultimates, the Doom, the Omni Slash. Obviously, the first item from the Alchemist, so he can fight. Because that armlet gives you a slight power spike in the early game, because it's such a powerful and efficient item on most every hero that gives you a bit of power in the early game to try to get ganks, at least annoy the Slark a bit, so it doesn't get much farm. The Slark got surprisingly recovered well from a bad early game. Now going fourth in net worth, getting a decent timing for. Oh, there's a Doom. The glimpse does not quite work in his favor, and the kinetic field misses both. Slark has to walk the wrong way. They're trying to deny him. Will they have time? They won't. The shockwave and just surprises them all. Slander now goes in against a Tinker who has a haste rune as well. The heat-seeking missile only level 1, but they should still be enough to kill off Slander, can't they? Heat-seeking missiles hits him. One more hit. Cole is following him up. They're in Crush Sign off mana, and there's no amazing play from Slander here. He can't be Puppy, he can't be Universe. Just gonna die against the Tinker. But for the price of the Slark, 100% fair. That's like switching. I mean, there's two fish, right? So it's like switching like a very basic, I don't know, very cheap fish, like a white bait for a trout here, you know? Trout is definitely. They're happy with that trade, especially killing the Slark, messing up his laning stage. That's what you're looking for in the early game. The Slark has some nice mechanisms, but really relies on getting that Shadow Blade or Echo Saber, depending on what build you're going for, and depending on if you're no-tail or not. He really depends on getting those items on a good timing, and he's not currently doing so. However, the Tinker can create some for him mid-game. He already has his Boots of Travel, if I'm not mistaken. And they have to come to him fast, because otherwise he's not going to be able to outrun the Slardar. He just got them. There comes the Maledict. The second stun, the Slardar with a Sprint is too powerful. They keep hitting Cole. They don't have a bash, so he's alright. Ooh, good battle cry in the end. Can they stop Medpoom's TP? ProDotA did not have enough mana. Against the curse of the Mango, does not really matter. They do kill the Slander, or kill the Slardar. It's not that his name is so similar to his hero. They do kill Slander. Managed to kill off the Slardar, that's good. Slash into Mitch. Oh, that was lucky. Mitch, what are you doing? I know you want to touch Shane a bit. You don't have to, man. You really have to run away once he starts spinning. But regardless, the Sven should really keep up some sort, because that's the problem we've seen with a lot of support Svens. They lack mana. He doesn't get a mana talent until level 10, so for that. And right now we've seen that multiple times. The Stormhammer could have been quite useful, considering the Witch Doctor was TPing with no mana and a limited amount of health. You could have easily brought down with a combination of Swift Ending. Only good thing about the engagement is that Tinker survives. Good use of Battle Cry, by the way. And Slark does get a kill, bringing him even out the scales a bit further. That said, evening out here is a very relative term, considering it's an Alchemist. 1,000 net worth difference is quite a lot. For an Alchemist, it's alright. His gold per minute is only in the 500s, which in 10, again, is insane, but for an Alchemist, he's just been having a decent lane. He's been able to farm the jungle a lot. Now the Alchemist can farm in one go. So he has that extra people speed. More often than not, he gets more bounty runes, which is kind of useful. Though the turnout usually is the same. But the bounty runes are more freely available to the Alchemist than before. You know, when the bounty runes spawned in the river, the Alchemist had a really hard time to get him, because he had to either risk his life, sometimes, or put a lot of vision around those runes. As now, with the Alchemist, all he has to do really is go into his own jungle and grab the easy runes. They could attempt some traps with that. I've theorized that. Like, you could potentially, in this case, if you're APG, try to get a couple traps for Hilarious and like set up with maybe Slark with a Shadow Blade near the bounty room, because you know he's gonna go there anyway, and he's probably not gonna be in Chemical Rage form unless he's farming the whole jungle at a go. So if you catch him in the off time, easy kill and a lot of gold because of how much the Alchemist gives to your team.
Invisibility.
Alright, let's see. Mr. Tinker now. Cole is coming back to the mid lane, but there's possible help. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, actually, we're just farming the enemy jungle for no reason. Actually, no, not for no reason. Taking away the actual farm. That's quite intelligent. Swift Ending now goes into Sane. Sane has to TP. He is TPing. There's no way to stop that. The unfortunate Blade Fury TP. Even more powerful than the Rage TP. No way you can stop that unless you have a Bat Rider or an Arrow Siren or something special on your team to, you know, prevent that from happening. Unless he stops spinning at the last second, you can go. Whatever. They don't kill the Juggernaut. They do deny the tower. It's good enough for APG. Quite happy with the trade. Yeah, well, I'm quite interested in seeing how the Juggernaut got this much farm. He's actually doing quite well. Rivaled in the Slark, but above the Tinker. Helm of the Dominator on him. Slark has recovered well, but he's gotten a lot of kills. Obviously, the Juggernaut's just been farming his lane quite efficiently. If you look at the last hits he's doing. And oh, they're going for the Disruptor here in the top lane. Doom onto him, but there's the stun, and Sven comes in with a lot of damage considering he knows his Sven. He still hits for quite a lot with the God's Strength. But he doesn't want to get in there too far because the Starters just come in. They deny! They come in the last second. Sven is just fighting into the blast of his breath. LeBron Dota will have to fall down, but they actually do manage to get the deny and the Disruptor, which is kind of worth it considering it ended up being a position 4 for a position 4 plus a deny. A slight win for Hilarious, but the Doom is now on cooldown, and your Slark now has free game to do whatever he wants, including killing Satan, because Satan has to not turn the TP away. Where's Mitch? He comes in, Slark tries to go into him, he doesn't have time. The vacuum's available though, Mitch, and he can also body block. The Chosen One is as good as dead. Here come the Heat Seeker, trying to chip away at his health. The Hood of Defiance is being used. I think too early for a pipe. And they took away the Hood of Defiance. Finally, Kinetic Field misses. Nobody really cares. The Balancing Cask comes way too late. Doesn't do enough. Only puts Medcom in danger. The Glimpse is actually being used onto the enemy sword. And now Medcom will go down as well. Getting a double kill for Swift Ending and pushing him up in terms of net worth. Forcing the Juggernaut to constantly TP and uses Blade Fury. It means he can't use his Blade Fury offensively that often. Means that oftentimes he'll actually not get the kills he needs. Wasn't able to deal enough damage to kill any of the APG supports. There, APG really turned it around with 2 last kills. Wonderful. That gets Slark his Shadow Blade, and now it's when the real fun is going to start for EPG. Whereas Hala should have been having a lot of fun for now, considering they have a Slardar. They're really waiting for the Slardar and the Doom and whatnot. You know, they're really waiting for those ultimates and being powerful. Really, they're waiting for the Alchemist to come online so he can pushing, damaging heroes. In general, being a nuisance and hard hero in Dota. And you also want the Slardar to get his blink. Position 4 Slardar. Not that often you see him with a blink dagger. The Sven with his Helm of the Dominator will come much sooner and will be much more efficient or much more useful in this Slardar with his blink dagger early on. Aesthetic Storm plus Current Fuel came out, the non-clutch cast stayed That was quite a bad static storm, if I'm honest. And yeah. The issue with the Disruptor against Juggernaut is that you can't really glimpse him away. And that's a problem. Preparing the Static Storm plus Kinetic Field is almost impossible because you have to Kinetic Field first, so you can hit him with a Static Storm. There's no other way of doing it. You can always run out of Kinetic Field if you use Static Storm first. 100%. You can always run out. He knows he has to run out of Static Storm. So either you're very creative with the Kinetic positioning, the Kinetic Field position, which is not possible. You turn that Kinetic Field into a creative field. Either you do it like a very creative, out of the box Kinetic Field where like you put the Static Storm first, say, and then you Kinetic Field halfway through the Static Storm, like closes them off and they weren't expecting that. Something crazy like that. Ooh, no, you don't want to fight this. Okay, that was not a good thing. Where's your help, Doom? Doom in this case as the hero, not the ability. Yeah, now you're just gonna die. I think Doom is quite powerful. Even went for the 80 Devour Gold. We'll talk about it in a second. Okay, they seem to go on him. There's the Iron Shell. Stark doesn't give a shit about the Shadow Blade damage. Can they stop him is the question. Of course they can. It's an Iron Shell, now a vacuum, stops the TP, and the Chosen One is the Chosen One to die. Good kill for Swift. The kill, now taking advantage of the Shadow Blade and the Darkseer pickup, which I kind of love. Comes back, they also get a kill on the Witch Doctor, who's, kind of died to one hit from the storm. Well, that was good enough. Anyway, the point is, Juggernaut quite a huge counter to Disruptor, and they're not going to be able to get many kills on Juggernaut until they get an Abyssal Blade or something of the sort on one of their heroes. The Sven seems to be going for a Medallion, which is interesting considering they can actually kill the Juggernaut just based on damage. I actually like that a lot. The Juggernaut, unlike the Life Stealer, is not as tanky as a hero, so if he doesn't have his healing ward out, you can just put it down of Courage, and he starts spinning and trying to keep you away, just beat him based on your physical damage, which is... Sure, you have a Tinker, so that's not the ideal plan, but... with a Sven and a Slark, still possible. Slark going directly for Lincoln Sphere, which I love, by the way. The stats are nice on Slark, so it's actually not a bad item on him to begin with. But more importantly, it's just like easily stop that very, very annoying Doom. In addition to one of the Omni Slashes, the Fairy Fire, or the Amplified Damage, the Corrosive Haze, it's also stopped by it. Quite useful in this match. The Paralyzing Cat, to some degree, is also, or the Unstable Concoction. Alright, let's see. Now, Mepu is pursuing Mitch in this case. The Amplified Damage comes out. There's the old one from the Witch Doctor. Vacuum Ball Replica onto 4, onto 5. What a team! Off. Mitch actually manages to do a lot before he dies. Pretending he has to run away. He's been hit by the Amplified Damage, so he has to read the spell. There's the use of the Dark Pact. LeBron Donor trying to get a kill on Hilarious, but probably not going to be able to. Now comes Swift Ending. He doesn't the angle to initiate. He has to run away as well. Meanwhile, in the backlines, GOG1 is fighting in Slander, saying he wants to join the fray, and GOG1 is slowly going to be chipped away by that Blade Fury. Spin, your blood on the floor. Dirty whore, says Mr.
I'll take that.
Playing pretty well. The Juggernaut actually playing the same role as Stark is, being the main damage dealer, taking advantage of this initiation, and despite a great Vacuum Wall Replica on really, it didn't matter as much due to the effectiveness of War Replica right now, and due to the fact that, well, there was no follow-up. You could really expect a Vacuum Wall Replica plus a Static Storm, not just a Vacuum.
That's good, fast enough.
Starkseer has lost that effectivity of just being, wow, it's a Vacuum Wall Replica. Doesn't really matter that much anymore.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, sorry, now the one last thing one last thing. Game's not over yet, but the one thing I really want to talk about is this Doom pickup, which I kind of love. I've been practicing a lot of Doom recently. I suck at Doom. I believe I barely play Doom. I lost to him with him 10, 12 times. I played him with him like 13. So, except recently I've been winning a lot with him because of his 80 Devour Gold. 80 Devour bonus gold. His position 4 Doom is actually quite strong. The fact that he put him in position 3 is a bit weaker, but I suppose like position 4s are so important nowadays that I understand the need to put a Slaughter, for example, there, instead of the Puppy Doom, which is not as strong anymore. Regardless, though, position 3 Doom can be an insane utility. That Doom is a useful skill, but in general, once you get so many items on the Devour, you can go for something crazy like an Octarine or something like that, just to get more gold. No, just so you can get more Devours or more Dooms, and it's quite useful. Refresher, those kind of builds are actually much more likely now, even though they cost a lot of gold earlier. Refresher Aghanim's is not as crazy anymore due to the fact that, well, you have this insane surplus of gold, plus 180 gold every 40 seconds, more or less, considering you don't, well, technically it's 200 gold, because you're always eating a creep. But as long as you don't need a big creep,
is under attack.
You can use Devour off cooldown. Very useful skill, and we're seeing his effectiveness this game with a couple of dooms. There's the doom and swift ending, can't because Shadow Dance uses the doom instead of the dark sphere to prevent some of the vacuum, which is bad. The brother uses well, and the first day in a matter of seconds, but he has the Aegis. Doesn't actually matter. He sacrificed himself. APG, couldn't you see? Swift ending gets trapped and hit from behind, and Hala Ares takes down 3 in this engagement. A double kill on the Slug, and who else did he kill? On to the Dark Sphere. The Sven dies almost for free, honestly, because his God Strength is doing nothing. The Sven support, quite how creative it's been, not been as effective as we wanted to. Looking for those stuns, decent, but not the area stun you really look for, especially because the combination with the vacuum is available and he's not really utilizing that at all. And the God Strength sets in. There's a reason why you get items on Sven and why you play as a carry with that God Strength pickup. That ultimate of yours is quite useful in the early stages of the game, minute 10, when it's like, oh my god, a support hits for 120? What shall we do? Now when it's minute 21 and the Alk is regenerating 120 per second, and he doesn't care if you hit for, especially with how easily kiteable you are and how your, you know, attack speed so your attack speed in general is. He has a 1 attack per second, so he's literally doing 120 DPS, which is alright, but it's about the kind of damage an Iron Shell does. 30 above the Iron Shell does. Without, and you even need to attack, so you can't, like, walk next to him. At this point in the game, like, think about it this way, at this point in the game, would you be afraid of an Iron Shell? Not really, really. Like, it's strong, you don't want to be near it, but you're afraid of it. Similarly, you're not afraid of a Sven. You don't really do as much as you would like to. I think it's a bit rewarding, pretty well.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So I like what Hala Ares is doing now. I do like the space. I think they played the Alchemist quite well in this game. People will call this strategy cheesy, but getting an Alchemist 17,000 net worth at mid 22, that's not cheesy. That's knowing what you're doing with the Alchemist and what you're doing with the... Oh, that took 2 seconds. Even near the enemy shrine, nobody bothered to TP because the Omni Slash and the amplified damage is available. Regardless,
Radiant's bottom tower
in this game, gotta give it a lot to Hala Ares being able to play that 4 protect 1 strategy quite decently. The team fights they've been getting for the most part have been unfavorable to them because the Alchemist is enjoying until the last second, or the Alchemist is constantly farming. But at the same time, they've still been able to win them just because of the power of this Juggernaut, who's been playing fantastic, might I add. And the Slaughter's been playing really well as well. Once he got his Blink Dagger, you saw the effectivity of him, especially with the amplified damage. But I would really commit. Oh, amplified damage. Okay, they start hitting him a bit, and in comes Juggernaut, deals a lot of damage. Where's the Omni Slash? Doesn't want to use it yet because he has. Oh, they have the Purge on the. They have the Purge on the Doom. There's no way. There's no way that this could have escaped this. Yeah, they have Helmet Dominator onto Dane, right? So they have double Purge there. 3-second cooldown already with 5-second duration. They did make it so that it doesn't slow you fully for 3 seconds, but regardless, you know. Very powerful considering you can dispel the Surge, which is the only ability Darkseer has to escape. And now Hilarious joins into the fray and decides to take the tower just for kicks. He's hilarious. And he's going to be really close to building that Octarine core. I mean, barely 2,000 gold away from that Octarine core, which is nothing considering his gold. 840, which again, even for an Alchemist, this is quite high. 840, that's what? 4 minutes gets... No, sorry, in 3 minutes he gets the Octarine. Not even, probably much sooner, because the 840 doesn't really take into account how the early game works. We can't really calculate like that, but we should be able to get in 2 or 3 minutes that Octarine core and then just start mass pushing like a Naga Siren. At least the Tinker is here to make this game really long, and at least Tinker is here to prevent this and the 1 winning token that APG has. So they have the Aetherlands already on him. They're trying to build the Axe. That Axe is very important so you can stop the illusion spam. But obviously right now the Tinker is not doing as well as he would like. That Doom is being very annoying in the team fights. It's not really the Doom exit or the Doom hits him, because I haven't seen a Doom on Tinker yet. Maybe once earlier, and there was a failed gank. But it's mainly the fact that the Tinker can't really play as aggressively as he would like because there's that Doom. You know, that Doom is always available at the beginning of the team fight, and until the Doom uses his Doom, a Tinker can't really position himself in a visible position where, well, he could be hit. And on top of that, the worst part about it is that the Doom used right? That's it.
Radiant's bottom
Doom
tower
just
is
had
under
this
attack.
ability, and that's why you use it.
Radiant's
Nowadays,
structures
though,
are fortified.
the Doom has a lot more utility with the 80 Devour Gold. You can actually have the Pipe of Insight and soon to be the Guardian Greaves as well. Scorched Earth helps a lot. The extra purges from the creeps. It's very, very useful. There's a lot of utility which you didn't used to exist as much, especially because they discovered the purge. That purge was a huge. They eclipsed someone. I think it was someone near the tower, but they're still trying to go for the disruptor.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, there it is. Omnislash comes out, finds Disruptor, and I think LeBron is dead as well. Good usage of the Blade 3 there to evade damage. LeBron is nothing you can do.
Don't think ill of me.
Guys are still a little bit sick. And I live in a cold country. The Diffusal Blade coming out on the Juggernaut, pretty good. I mean, standard build obviously for the meta style, but this is a lot of an agility boost which helps him push towers. Hilarious already has a Doctor Rain Core, like predicted 3 minutes in. Yeah, seems like the Alchemist here is doing a pretty good job of farming and now farming the enemy team. I mean, it's the common thing to see, but not by this matchup. It's 10,000 net worth difference. Look at this. If you look at the difference in the team net worth, you see the Hala is obviously winning, but not by that much. 12,000, which they're actually quite equal, bar the Alchemist. In terms of experience, you can see that they are winning by 8,000. This seems more realistic than 12,000. Regardless, though, the Alchemist is still farming more than they are. Despite his Primal's Greed, he's still just farming more often. Because the 4 Protect 1 is working for Hala Ares, and EPG is not fighting good team fights. And now Hala might even be able to take the Tinker down. This is a solo Doom, by the way. That is just Doom. That is the power of a Doom nowadays. You go in, you have so many items that you're actually quite a powerful core. I mean, he's rivaling the Tinker in terms of farm. A goddamn Tinker, you know? And the Tinker has 10,000 net worth, or 11,000 net worth. 12,000 almost. Farming constantly with March on the Machines. This Doom has 10,000, almost 11,000. By his Devour. It's insane. You don't have to put any effort into it. This doesn't take any skill. Just Devour a creep. And that's why it's hard to kill, because with a Pipe of Insight, you prevent all the Tinker, you have a lot of follow-up power, the Guardian Greaves, the Infernal Blade, the Scorched Earth, etc., and the extra purge. And when you get the plus the 15 Scorched Earth damage shield, it becomes the old Scorched Earth, which is super OP and know what to face against. What? Let's see, the bottom lane, Swift Ending seems to find Hilarious and not realize that Hilarious is super dangerous. Yeah, here Hilarious has a gen, you know, and I think he's just dead. He had a Shadow Dance, I suppose, but you don't really want to waste a Shadow Dance on that. Oh well. They're gonna farm this really easy, and now take the tower. Because why not? Seriously, why not? They have so much power. They don't have to wait at all. In fact, the more they wait, the weaker they're gonna become against the Tinker. If they wait till the Tinker gets agged, then it's gonna become a problem. I'll die. Good for Hilarious, getting a bit more gold as if he needed any. I think he's going for the Shiva now. Yeah. Instead of the Assault Cuirass, I like the build of the Shiva for Assault Cuirass because the utility gives your team.
Has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's quite more useful in that regard. So let's see. Thunder, going to Swift Ending, good stun, but he does manage to get the Shadow Blade off just right in time. Time for the Sven also saves his life, but they seem to still want to kill him. And they use the Purge, LeBron Dota, goodbye. Say goodbye, LeBron. Swift Ending at the same time in the bottom lane, in the mid lane, is being chased up by Sane. He doesn't want to use his Omnislash due to that Shadow Dance being available. So in the end, they only get a support and nothing more, but they continue with the early game push, which is what they're going for anyway. So that's what Hilarious is doing right now. Trying to take a bunch of keys, putting a lot of pressure on this lane. He can even utilize the Shiva's Guard if he feels so inclined to push the lane even further, because the Shiva's Guard pushes fast. Let me tell you. So right now, the EPG team not content with the results, whereas Hilarious has to keep playing statically. They don't actually need to try to go into any kills or anything of the sort. Let's see. They can't take the shrines yet, which is the only unfortunate thing. If they could take the shrines, they could really snowball out of control. It's the issue that they can't. Kind of put them in a disadvantage right now, because Those shrines mean the last bit of map control that EPG has. Malcolm is not even bothered killing Swift Ending. He just hits him for 4 times, knows he can kill him. Oh, they went to the purge there. What a stun Swift Ending. Do they have a blink on this Doom? Yes, they do. But that TP was just in time. They both waited their blink daggers. Try to get in. Oh, that's not too good. That's not too good for Swift Ending, really, because he just keeps running away. That's not really what you want to do. It's not the ideal situation for a Slark to be in, especially after such weak items like Lincolns. You really can only get Lincolns when you can afford to get Lincolns. You know, when you are dealing so much damage that Lincolns doesn't really matter. The stats are good, like I said, but obviously you don't want Lincolns before you can. The issue is now the Slark can't kill before he's also really easily killable because that Lincolns is only saving himself from a purge. If it wasn't because the Doom has such a high casted animation, then the Slark would be dead multiple times. On every skill, I mean. Doom has a huge cast animation. And they can just hit him with like they can just taunt out the Shadow Dance 1 point. They know they can. They know it's possible. Once they get a gem, the Silver Edge won't be a saving grace anymore. And they do have a gem on the Doom. So the only thing he has left will be at that point to Shadow Dance every single engagement. It's ludicrous. You can't do that, obviously. You're going to run out of Shadow Dances, purely. It's 60-second cooldown, it's quite a lot. So let's see. Let's see what Hala decides to do now. If they do actually push over this high ground, they do have the power to do so. So, this is about going in. Exactly. Hilarious, man's up, goes in. They are fighting against a Tinker with laser. And they don't have much ways to dispel it, except for the Manta style, which he just used. Not a smart choice. Whatever, at least the Blade Fury can help in that regard. The Acid Spray is also really annoying to fight. And for now, the tower took 2/4 of its health. That's not bad at all. Two-thirds of its health. It's almost down to the last 1/4 of itself. And all EPG can do is kind of watch him for the Tinker. But the second someone comes in with a Blink Dagger, that's the issue. They know that there's no Storm Hammer, so this could be a good opportunity. Good kinetic field to zone out Hilarious. There it is. The Manta style finally to dispel the laser. But the Glyph used at the right time. And this tower about to die. Honestly, all Satan has to do. Ooh, there's a Glimpse. Puts Hilarious back into the fray. He does not have an Aegis, so he's actually quite a lot of trouble. Back to Wall Replica. And they make a double kill, triple kill even. The Aegis has been popped by the Juggernaut, and the rest of his team is out there to help him. And now Juggernaut has to try to Blade Fury away. He can't let Rondona. He's gonna find him in time. Oh, he actually slowed himself down. And Satan will manage to get off as they do kill the Slark in the mid lane, just with the Doom and the Slar Dart. However, managed to kill off Satan with one last glimpse and the kill off from the Tinker. And it's a 4 or a 3-4-1 that engagement. And Slark does die, but they defend the top tower. Barely living, but it's still alive. Through a magnificent wall replica vacuum and a very cheeky kinetic field from the Disruptor. I love how he put it behind him like, I just missed the kinetic. And it's like, boom, bitch, nah. It was all a trap the whole time. Hello to the guys in the...
That's exact.
Just nice to see you. Nice to see a lot of Dota fans here, or a lot of betting fans, if anything. I'm very used to the Azubu chat. Always very welcoming. All right. Okay. So Mitch doesn't get hit by this Slaughter, which because he had a double damage, so that could have been an easy kill. Nephilim also decides not to keep farming. That's also an interesting idea, considering Tinker started marching the machine away. But the issue that we should really talk about is the fact that the Doom and the Slaughter could kill the Slark by themselves. Granted, they use the Doom, but that's starting to be a problem. And now the Doom that he's realized it is to go for very offensive items. You know, going for Shadow Blade, going for Slug Harass, the 2 items you see here. And he's just ready essentially to be positioned into a position 3 that's more of a carry role, considering after all that he can beat the enemy carry by himself. Gets a couple more items, he might not even need the help of the starter. All he'll need is a good Doom, a Infernal Blade, and maybe even the extra Doom DPS or something. I usually opt for the Health Legion, but it's not a bad idea to go for the extra Doom DPS if you are winning by a lot and you want to finish off the game. It's close to minute 35, so I feel like a lot of people are going to... Not here. Sorry, I only talk fast during team. Usually I slow it down. Ferrari's fast for you. I hope you have a lot of Ferraris, dude. Right. Slander will be getting a Morbid Mask Micro emission. I bet he has a Ferrari, man. Believe me. Of course he has a Ferrari. Alright, Sandra's gonna get a Morbid Mask now to get finished off his Vlads. I like the idea of a Vlads. Helps the Juggernaut slightly, you know, helps the team in general. If the Doom is not gonna get it because he's transitioning into more of a damage role, then you obviously want someone to go for utility. And in this case, the Slardar, considering he's not doing that badly in terms of farm, I would still rather have a 4-staff on the Slardar, but, you know. I'm a big fan of the Misery build. A big fan of that Slardar that just went for 4-staff and created amazing... they saw this. They know there's a smoke. They know there's a smoke. So EPG, not going to be caught out by this one. Hopefully. Here's a weird smoke though. Yeah, let's just smoke to take a tower. Okay. That was weird. I think it might have been a waste of a smoke. Okay. Had they not used the Manta style, both the Sven and I believe was it GOG1, they were both going out the mid lane, so they could have cut out one of. Careful. It's actually just telling us to be careful. So they got 2 kills on the 2 enemy supports. You know, they could have taken 3 regardless, maybe even the barracks. So that's kind of a waste of a smoke. I think they could have just walked in there and done the same thing they just did. However, you know, at least they get the shrines now. Like I said, shrines are quite important, so it's not bad to have them. Take away the enemy team's map presence that possibly have. In addition to the Doom's gem, you really have a lot of power in that regard. I don't really know what he's going for though. Doom right now. Why King Ball or Sakura? Meanwhile, the Alchemist starting to build those. Oh, of course. Why? Why would you go for Aghanim's on Doom when you can just get it on the Alchemist? So stupid to me. But I think the first act is definitely Witch Doctor. It's a bit weird that he hasn't been building any items until now. First act should definitely be on him. Then Doom, then Juggernaut. Then give one to Slardar for stats. And then give one to himself for stats as well. And, oh, actually, no. I would give one to Witch Doctor and Doom. Then stop and build like Moon, something like that. Finish your travel boots, you know, maybe change items if you want to. Then give one to the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut really is more of a cooldown reduction. You're not giving it to him, right? No, he's just waiting for it.
I will not.
He did give it to the Juggernaut. Why is the Juggernaut first? I don't really understand that. I mean, he doesn't even go for the Maelstrom build or a Basher build or any build that really benefits a lot from at least getting more slashes. I get the cooldown reduction, it's useful, but I would still definitely opt for the Doom or for the Juggernaut, for the Witch Doctor. I mean, that Witch Doctor axe is insane. And the truth is, it also gives him a lot of stats, which is not a bad thing to have. You know, there's that little bonus. It gives you, a bit of armor, a bit of damage, a bit of attack speed, and obviously the health. And I hope he goes for the. Really interesting to see plus 175 Blade Fury DPS, but that's definitely not. He's gonna go definitely for the agility. I mean, it's not a bad DPS if you think about it. It would have to be like a plus 400 Blade Fury DPS to even make it considerable, considering how the Juggernaut is played every time. That could be for a support Juggernaut though, would be very useful. Plus 175. That'd be interesting to see. I'd like to see support position for Juggernaut, a la old Chinese days. You know, looking at the talents a bit, I was just kind of looking around the talents. A lot of heroes that we don't often see, or we don't really look at the talent tree because it's not as important. Like the Tinker, for example, because his talents don't really change much. It's not like the Lone Druid or... Yeah, really just the Lone Druid or the Doom with his plus 80 Devour bonus gold. Slug actually really benefits a lot from the level 20. Talent Leash is not bad at all considering they don't have ways to dispel it. Only 2 Manta styles on the enemy team, so once they use them, easily kill them. But that would the plus 12 stats is also very useful to give him exactly what he lacks. I don't even like the butterfly pickup on this slug. I think the Scotty would have been the same thing, the same more bang for your buck. you know, it does more for you. The extra agility you get is not really that useful, whereas you do want the extra HP so you can survive a goddamn Doom. Once the Doom has Aghanim's, oh, he already does. Oh, wow, his Alchemist has been building Ags. And in they go, Cole comes in behind. There's the big use by Stain, plus the Blade Fury. And he's got the best combination of skills. The back of the floor, but the Axe Doom has to kill off too. And the Doom has caught off the Tinker. Tinker will die. The Omnis is also coming out, but the Omnis has barely hit anyone. And the Chosen One has to run away. Tinker's still going down, but they managed to deny it easily, I think. There it is. Oh, no. Chosen One will just get the kill with an extra TPS. He's got it for the Doom. However, he's going to go down as a result. And the only thing that survives in this team fight is the Juggernaut and the Alchemist who continue to fight in this mid lane. So, a team fight that's not so favorable for Hala Ares, perhaps because the Alchemist wasn't goddamn there. He's just farming that last axe for the Witch Doctor, which I think they really need. And once he has it, I guess, then...
Take that as tribute.
Of course he has 6. He's got the Ferraris. Those 6 old models of Ferrari. Betting gives you so much money. It's the Ferraris for betting. More of a bragging rights thing. Right. MKB for Juggernaut to counter the Butterfly. Okay, that seems like a pretty reasonable idea. Aghanim's on the Disruptor. I haven't seen this in a while, but I think this is a great pickup. You don't often see a Disruptor who actually gets a bit more farm, because he's usually just position 5, akin to the Witch Doctor in this situation. But in this case, they actually allowed him to farm a bit and get an Ags, which I love. Because now the BKB on the Juggernaut, which was completely wasted in the last team fight, by the way, considering that, like, a good... You could have had 15 seconds of magic immunity, and you would have won that team fight. Because you against Slurp, you win, and there's no other damage source in EPG. However, he wasted the BKB, and now he's not able to use it because the Static Storm will stop that. Also, what I love about the Static Storm against the Doom is like, ha! Doom is cool. Imagine Doom in an area, bitch. Easy Static Storm. Easy Static Storm. Now I think the Alchemist is the way to go for that last Ags. I don't know what he spent his gold on. He definitely had these items beforehand, so I generally know what he spent his gold on. Oh, Moonshard. Next was Moonshard. So he does value... He did this similar thing to what I said. 2 Ags and then Moonshard, but why the hell won't you get Ags as a Witch Doctor? I don't know what's wrong. Like, what has Medboom done to you, man? It's a great Aghanim. I mean, sure, you don't get that ultimate often. Get a Glimmer Cape on him.
I'll take that.
He's going for a Lotus Orb to begin with is already ludicrous when he could be going for a Glimmer Cape. So much utility from stuff. Quite the waste. Anyway. I love because Hala Satan in this is I can't think of anything else. Right. Let's see if they... This is the final push for Hala Ares. I mean, they still haven't taken a single raid on Rax, which is a crazy thing. Like, they're not winning by that much. The game is 17-15, goddammit. 42 minutes save. This game is slow. Usually in Tier 1 games, you'd see 1 kill per minute, you know, huge snowball potential, really taking advantage of the 2 mustard, but in this game, they just don't want to do that because they're fighting against a Tinker, they want to play defensively, they know there's so much on the line. Like, if you lose, you're out for a whole season, you know? You have to really wait till the next one to actually be relevant again in the Dota scene. Very perfectly understood. Towards initiating. It honestly makes perfect sense to me. Because, like, really, you can't afford to lose. Quite simply. Oh, sorry, the camera. And there's a Static Storm coming up in the top lane. Actually caught a couple, but doesn't kill anyone yet. The Hex, the Alchemist, is trying to run away here, but the constant hexing is too annoying for him. He manages to make a wild move. There is the Tinker finally down, and now the counterattack comes from the guys from Hala Ares. And hail Ares here because they're gonna destroy the enemies in their brutal concept of war. However, in war, it's enemies who die, not buildings, and that's the issue here because EPG has managed to defend the racks for now. They want to continue attacking, but get a couple of counter kills using those buybacks already. The Alchemist, though, doesn't have that ultimate. No, he has that ultimate on, and he's going to start hitting pretty hard. So getting, they want to get that kill of Vacuum, which only helps to kill the smart. And now LeBron Dota fighting him to help go. Is that going to be enough? Not for now, because they had Aegis ready, and Satan wants to get that final hit onto LeBron Dota. In comes the Doom, the Inferno Blade. LeBron is going to burn to death like a simple roasted chicken in a clinch, which only puts Hilarious in a better position to kill off GOG1. There goes the stun, there goes the shield, and one final punch to the face means you're out of the ring, son. And as Swift Ending tries to run away from the innumerable powers that are coming to get him, it's Hala Aries who finally decides to take on these racks. Swift Ending wanting to fight, attempting to go into Hilarious, but Hilarious is just not gonna stand for this. They're gonna take down the poor Spark, and there it is. Swift Ending goes down. No buyback for EPG. I believe this could easily be GG. Satan comes in, activates his Big He's glowing like the gods. He is the god himself because he is unkillable with that Aegis. He knew he had that extra life, and he used the immortality to the best of his ability to take down those racks. Now Hilarious is going up for the second lane. They only cared about the melee ones. The Omnitrix comes in. Cole manages to evade the Shivas. It's barely gonna miss. Cole survives by the bare skin of his teeth. And now Darkseer does go down this after using a barely to the wall replica vacuum. They get the Static Storm out. Vicious somehow survives as they kill the Doom, the Juggernaut, and the Slardar in a quick succession. Thanks to a beautiful refracted laser, the Alchemist goes down, and 4 go down in the end for Hala Aries. EPG survive. Man, EPG is making the game quite intense. I'm enjoying this. That was good. They keep losing shit, you know, but they keep losing stuff, but they keep throwing their bodies at the walls. It's like constantly doing that. And they're managing to defend the racks. Whew. That's nice to see. This Tinker's playing out of his mind. Oh, Cole. Oh, Cole. What a simple name. What a complex human being. Playing beautifully. Not Tinker. Those lasers have been really good. Though I have to give it, this game, Mitch is Darkseer. I mean, we all know that one of Mitch's best heroes is, in fact, the Darkseer, but watching him play again is just wonderful. He keeps himself for his team. He'll vacuum all replica, and I keep thinking he's gonna die. And somehow he survives, taking advantage of the extra health regen. And, oh, he went for cast range. Interesting. Okay, so he doesn't even go for evasion. I actually don't know how Mitch survives at all. This guy's just has a lot of armor, I suppose. Now's the time for the EPG to push, I suppose, or at least pull buyback, but it's a bit hard. It's actually quite hard against a Juggernaut that's about to come back and an Alchemist too. That's the issue when the enemy team is so tanky that it takes you a long time to kill them all. So there's respawn times are quite evenly spread out, and by the time that you can push, since you've lost half of your team anyway, it was really lucky for Cole not to die the second time. The Shivas catches him and he would have, that would have been GG, but not for EPG. EPG fights. Let's see. Maybe let's see what Hala's gonna do now. I mean, after that team fight, they might be a bit discouraged. They only took one lane of racks. They didn't even take the tower in the mid lane. And it seems like it's EPG actually who are more than discouraged. They're encouraged here. Issue. We see a slight smoke in the Shadow Blade. They actually do see the Doom. And if they can kill the Doom in time, Static Storm comes out. It barely catches all of them. That's a beautiful combo. They take down one already. Only the way second they can take out save. No, the Omni Slash comes right in time. And a beautiful initiation gets messed up by the Doom, who's now BKB'd himself and wants to kill the Tinker. He's gonna manage to do so. Standing, trying to fight Hala's chosen one, but it's too hard. Satan and Hilarious are now doing this, destroying the enemy team. And Swift Ending can't even run away. One last pounce, he'll still be stunned. Can they find him? The Blink Daggers go on to him. The Purge with Swift Ending has to give up his life. And there's no buyback on this man. 89 seconds on the Spark. 80 seconds on the Tinker. This is hard. Even Mitch can't save this match. And it seems like Hala Aries wants to go onto the enemy throne. Finally, they're gonna take down the buildings that stand between them and victory.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tower? No, fuck that tower. We're just gonna go for the ones in the mid lane. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Go direct for throne. After all, they have no buyback. This is the right choice to do. Look how much damage they deal to these towers. Crazy. It's like they're made out of melted butter and a fat guy's spare.
Dire's middle
Destroy them quickly. Take them down. Prowess and cast between two. Quite nice, actually. Wow, that's very nice Prowess cast. Stops the bitch completely, and Static Storm completely wasted. Anyway, Throne is going down, and it does seem like EPG, despite their valiant effort at surviving this game, will eventually. Now there's the Omni Slash. Will Mitch die before the Throne? Yeah. Wonderful. both teams. I actually, despite the issues we had at the beginning for EPG and drafts that were not entirely convincing, in the end, hope you've enjoyed the cast for today. My name is DSwordFish. I've been your caster for today. I will continue on for the next matches.